All right. Hey everybody, how's it going today? Good. Welcome to our New Year, New You lifestyle presentation. So it's our first one that we've ever done like this, and it's a great turnout. I was expecting like maybe 5 or 10 people to end up coming, so I'm happy that we were able to fill the room, and we have some people on virtually. Everyone online, can you guys hear us okay? Or if anyone maybe give a thumbs up or something online? Or drop in the chat if you can't, I guess, ultimately. Perfect. Good. So, yeah, I'm honored today to introduce Dr. Krainacker. He's been practicing family medicine for 25 years here in Helena. And we're going to be chatting about lifestyle management today. So he's super passionate about lifestyle medicine, lifestyle management. And he's shifting into focusing more on lifestyle management in his day-to-day practice. He has a strong passion for lifestyle management, and it really stems from just his childhood. When he was growing up as a teenager, his father had some complications, some heart disease, and obesity challenges that he was working through. So he developed a strong passion from an early age for lifestyle management, and he's starting to take off his career in that direction here. So he was recently recognized as a diplomat for the American Board of Obesity Medicine and the American Board of Lifestyle Medicine. And he's going to give us about 30 minutes today to chat about lifestyle medicine and hopefully launch us all off in the new year in the right direction, because the new year is like 37 hours away. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Dr. Krainacker and let him share his knowledge. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Mark. I really do have a passion for lifestyle medicine. And yes, it does go back to when I was a teenager. When I was 16, my father had a heart attack. He was 49. Okay. I checked my cholesterol all the time. I don't know. It was something astronomically high, like 280, 290 or something. I go, well, my father died of a heart attack. His grandfather died of a heart attack. So we got like a long list of heart disease in my family. I figure, okay, I know where this is heading. And we didn't have statins back then. I remember telling my parents, and my dad had his heart attack in January. He got out of the hospital in February. Okay, I'm a good Catholic boy. Okay, we're going into Lent. I said, hey, I'm going to give up meat for Lent. I talked to my parents. You would have thought I was going to join a cult. Okay, all right. So that didn't really get that far. Okay. So anyway, years later, when I was out on my own, I became a vegetarian. All right. And, things started going okay. I started to exercise, and hey, my weight came off. I used to weigh 40 pounds more than I do now. I started exercising. I started eating healthily. And guess what? My cholesterol is normal now. I've never been on blood pressure medicine. Okay. I love what I eat now. I've got a great cook, great chef in my house. Okay. So, I like what I do. I love exercising. I ran 12 miles this morning. I love what I do. So I'm going to talk to people about lifestyle medicine, how you can do this. Okay. What I do in my practice, I try to teach my patients there's a different way than what we're doing things in medicine. Now, just how did I get from family medicine into lifestyle medicine? Well, like 70% of primary care providers around the country, a couple of years ago, I was beyond burned out. This was before COVID. Okay, and I was looking for a way out. I mean, I was counting the days till I was 65 so I could retire. And then I actually took a course on, I was having to renew my family medicine certification. So I took a course, and a review course, and one of them was on obesity treatment. I thought that was pretty interesting. So I looked up, and it turns out there's actually a board of obesity medicine. So I got into that, and I really enjoyed it. I started talking to my patients about it. They were losing weight. I was having a great time. And then my brother-in-law told me about this thing called lifestyle medicine. I figured, oh, okay, it's one more thing. I am so burned out on studying. So I looked at it. And oh my God, that's where all the cool kids were hanging out. Okay, so that's what I really wanted to get into. All right, so that's what I've been doing. All right, and I'm going to try to talk to people today about my passion. Just tell you what lifestyle medicine is. This is a 10,000-foot view. Okay, I give a lot of talks on these around the community. Some of these topics that I'm going to give, I have 6 lectures on just by themselves. So I'm going to try to put it all into 30 minutes as best I can. Couple disclosures. I don't provide any medical advice during these talks. I do give the information on the latest science regarding lifestyle medicine, any whole food, plant predominant diet. So please do not stop any medications without consulting your prescribing provider. Okay, lifestyle medicine. So this is a little graphic from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. All right, it's got 6 major pillars. First one is nutrition. It's one that gets talked about the most. Second one, physical activity. Third one, stress management. That's a big one. We all have stress. Fourth one, substance abuse. Avoiding tobacco, avoiding alcohol, avoiding the other substances that we all know about. Sleep. Most of us don't get enough sleep in our lives. And the last one, form and maintain relationships. That's the one that ACLM tends to really avoid a lot, but I think it's the most important. Now we'll talk about that at the end. And then I just saw a lecture this week on a 7th pillar. I will talk about that at the end as well. I'm very passionate about that one also. This isn't really a new idea. This is a great Thomas Alva Edison from, I think it was 1894. The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will involve the patient in the proper use of food, fresh air, and exercise. Sounds good, right? Yep, here we are. Lots of pills. Okay, so what are the costs of these pharmaceuticals? You can see up there, Americans spent $750 billion on drugs in 2021. We have 5% of the world's population, yet we take over 70% of the world's meds. Want to talk about hydrocodone? 5% of the world's population, 95% of the world's hydrocodone is used in this country. I know we're not a bunch of wimps. More than 40% of those over 65 take 5 or more prescription medications each day. And then you see what are the morbidities that are the most common. And here's the cost of healthcare. This is actually taken from 2020, all right, before the demon virus numbers start to show up. Okay, so look at that red bar there. That is what America spending back then. Per capita, $11,000, over 3 times what the average of the next 10 countries combined is. We spend twice what Canada spends per capita. So, what are we getting for our money? Well, let's look at life expectancy. Let's look at all those developed nations again. They're at the bottom. Japan, Hong Kong, they're up there at 84. Africa, we're down at 79. Well, what's another way we can look at it? There's another parameter called health-adjusted life expectancy. Now, this is the average number of years that you can expect to live a healthy life. So what does that mean? Okay, let's say that you have grandkids. This is the number of years that you can expect to not just be sitting on the bench watching them at the park, but actually playing Frisbee with them at the park, okay? So it's the number of years that you can expect to be doing what you enjoy doing, all right? Not just sitting at home doing something that you hate, bored out of your mind. So how are we doing in that category as a country? There we are at the bottom again, 66. That's what our healthy life expectancy is, okay? Now, that's 10 years, that's almost 10 years less than what our life expectancy is. But what's even more shocking about this, if you look at some of the poorest nations on the planet, those in Africa, some of the countries in Southern Asia, they're not that far behind us, okay? So for all of our wealth, all of our technology, all of our innovation, what are we doing wrong? We're spending more on healthcare than any other nation. We're getting less results. Our life expectancy and healthy life expectancy are less than most other developed nations, and it's going down. And it started to go down before COVID. From 2017 to 2019, there was a drop. That has been only getting worse since COVID hit. Our lifestyle, it's a major cause of our high rates of all our major morbidities, especially the heart disease, diabetes, the cancer, and the Alzheimer's. And you see what the problems are. We have excess calories. We have substance use, less exercise, poor sleep, more division and loneliness. I mean, God, why do we hate each other so much? I mean, why do we have so much division? And you see, those are the major causes of death. Obesity is #1 worldwide. Heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer in all its multiple forms, lung disease, lung cancer again, COPD. Is there another way? I love this Dilbert cartoon. There's a pointy-haired boss. I don't have time for my doctor's appointment. He's talking to his assistant, the rat. Go in my place and tell him you're having trouble sitting at your desk. And don't let him sweet talk you about diet and exercise. I want pills. You'd be amazed how many of my patients want pills. Lifestyle medicine, again, what I talked about earlier. There is another way. There's another way that we can do things. You can take control of your health. This traditional healthcare. You come into a provider, you're largely the passive recipient. You come in and see me, we talk, hey, you got high blood pressure, take this pill. We'll check some blood work. I'll see you back in a month. We'll see how well you're doing. All right. Patient has some care. They can say yes or no, but for by and large, it's a very patriarchal, paternalistic system. Let's be honest. Lots of medication, lots of testing, lots of procedures. Here's my ill. Take this pill. I'll send you the bill. But you are sick still. We don't treat the underlying causes in so many of these morbidities that are out there. I love this comic. Okay? You got a sink running over, you got a couple of doctors mopping up the floor. Nobody's thinking that maybe we should turn off the dang faucet. So lifestyle medicine puts the patient in charge of their health. It focuses on patient-directed care, such as changing your diet, reducing your stress, getting more physical activity, helping you sleep better, avoiding the toxic substances, being involved with your community so that you're not so lonely. So we're trying to treat the underlying condition, not just the end result. And this is the first pillar that I'm going to talk about. It's nutrition. I'll spend the most time on this only because it's the one that I'm most passionate about, but I think they're all equally valid. There's your standard American diet. Okay. What do you see here? Here's your hamburger, whatever those chicken things are, French fries, donuts, cookies, candy. I'm sure what this is. Ketchup. There you go. Okay. I think the French fries and the ketchup are as close we get to any, fruits and vegetables up there. So, but it's a very highly processed diet that's very low in natural foods. And we become a much heavier nation. This graph is already out of date. If you look back, let's say going back to mid-1970s, roughly 10 to 15% of the population were what we would consider obese. Sometime in the late 70s, that started to take off. Okay. Now this graph was from about 5 or 6 years ago. They were predicting by 2030 that 35% or so, 50% of the country was going to be obese. All right. Most of the countries south of the Mason-Dixon line are already way past that. Okay. Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, they're like at 55% obesity rates. Okay. And we're catching up, folks. We're getting there. These are the top sources of calories. Grain-based desserts. Okay. Cakes, cookies, donuts, pies, crisps, cobblers, granola bars, breakfast cereals, yeast breads, Chicken and chicken mixed dishes, like KFC. That's pretty heavy calorie stuff. Soda, energy drinks, sports drinks, and pizza. I grew up in New Jersey. I'm a pizza snob. Okay, it breaks my heart to see that up there. So, but again, we have a lot of calories in this country. Our food's getting bigger. Okay. This is from 20 years ago. This is the turn of the millennium. Okay. Back then, a bagel was only 140 calories. Now it's twice as much, almost 3 times. Okay. Look at the cheeseburger up here. Our soda's bigger. When I was growing up, a 12-ounce can of soda was considered king size. Yes, it was the 60s. I get that. It was a long time ago, but still. Okay. Now you can go to any of these convenience stores, any of these gas stations around, you get the big 64-ounce thing. Okay. With free refills, no less. Okay. You can get all you want. I mean, that's like a lot of calories. Okay. The theater popcorn, look at that. 1 tub. Yeah, I've done that with my kids. And I've gone and sat and, eaten the whole tub of popcorn and gotten a refill. Our pizza has become more highly caloric. So we're not necessarily eating more food, but the food that we are eating is much more caloric dense. So we're getting more calories every day. Here's some great statistics, okay? We spend about 10% of our income, our disposable income on fast food. Processed foods make up 70% of the U.S. diet. Average American nowadays eats about 130 pounds of sugar per year. 130. 100 years ago, that was 4 pounds. And it was mostly from fruits, some vegetables. Okay. We're starting the sugar challenge next month. I'm going to push that time and again. Okay. It starts January the 9th. It's a great way to start. That number getting out of date already. Okay, our middle schools and our high schools, we are selling soft drinks in our vending machines. And it's not the diet stuff either. And there you see the standard American diet. And there are the consequences. Lots of medical complications of obesity. I won't go through all of them. Basically, most of your major cancers, heart disease, diabetes, joint aches and pains, abdominal upset, a lot of it can be traced to being heavy. So let's move in a healthy direction. Okay. What America eats, you see that they're on the right side, lots of processed food, pizza, and right stuff again, lots of soda, donuts, chips, you get the idea. This is what our ancestors ate. Lots of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, seeds, beans, lots of spices, okay? Somewhere along the line, we became civilized and we processed the heck out of that and turned it into that, okay? But so we need to get back to what our ancestors ate. We need to get to a healthy diet. That's what our bodies are looking for. This is a little graphic. This is put out by the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. Again, just what I was saying. Lots of whole grains, of fruits and vegetables, plenty of water, lots of plant proteins. I was going to go off on the tangent about the plant proteins, but I think I'll skip that for now. So what's a whole food? Whole food is minimally processed. Okay, it's as close to nature as possible. It has few or no additives. Okay, and as an example, okay, if you go down the list, it becomes more processed. You have an apple, that's great. The way nature makes it, right off the tree. Applesauce, a little bit of processing. Apple juice, it's apple flavored water, really. Apple candy, there's an apple in there somewhere, but you can't tell from all the gunk on top of it. So, you really want to try to get as much of the natural stuff as possible. That apple is full of fiber. It's full of all sorts of great phytonutrients, most of which we don't quite understand yet, but they're there, and we know they're important. That apple candy, they've stripped out all the fiber, they've added all sorts of sugar. Okay? It ends up being worse for you. So moving towards whole foods and plant predominant. So eat the rainbow. Again, I have whole lectures on, how you can do that. But essentially, eat colorful foods. Nature is colorful. All right. My rule of thumb is if it's white and it's not cauliflower, it's processed. Okay. So eat as much of the rainbow as you wish. M&Ms don't count. Neither do Skittles. Okay. So the whole food plant-based diet, it's not just rabbit food. I hear that so many times from a lot of my colleagues. They think of lettuce. Okay. All right. Sure, I eat lettuce. I eat spinach. I love lettuce. Okay. But the way I make it, the way my wife makes it, it's really good. It's got taste like you wouldn't believe. Unfortunately, so many of us are stuck on the standard American diet, which is based on 3 flavors: sugar, fat, and salt. Okay. Talk about fruits and vegetables. You got hundreds of different flavors that you can combine. Okay. I mean, you could literally make a different combination every day between now and when the sun burns up, and you would still not run out of all the combinations you can make. Again, caloric density, I talked about that a little bit earlier. On the top there, you see the leafy and cruciferous vegetables. Now, what do these numbers refer to? They're on the left, or they're on the far side, is those numbers refer to how many calories are in 1 pound or whatever it is we're talking about. So a pound of veggies is 100 calories. Okay, eat a pound of those, you get 100 calories. Not bad. Ooh, look at cheese. You got 1,700 calories. Eat a pound of cheese, you get 1,700 calories. That's like 2 slices of Costco pizza. Okay, those things are full of cheese. Not that it tastes good, I get that, but still. Okay, so just in terms of weight loss, I try to get my patients to eat more of the low calorie dense foods, like the fruits and vegetables. This is one of my lifestyle prescriptions that I give out to many of my patients. 6 to 8 servings of fruits and veggies per day, a couple servings of legumes, a couple servings of whole grains, no processed carbs. If you come away with nothing from this, no processed carbs. Okay, give up the bread, give up the cookies, the chips, things like that sort. Okay, reduce your animal products as you're able. I like a 1,400 calories per day or less diet, and 12 hours of fasting. Again, this is a little bit about what I talk about with my weight management patients, but it works for a lot of people. Okay, going to move on a little bit. This is the gut microbiome. Now, what does that mean? Okay, basically speaking, with all apologies to the Beatles, we get by with a little help from our friends. Because in our gut, we have over 100 trillion bacteria. Okay, now those things need to be eating something, and what they need to be eating to keep us healthy is fiber. Right? Fiber in our diet gives us all sorts of great compounds, and those compounds, they help your heart, they reduce your appetite, they help your abdominal system, they help your brain. It goes on and on and on. All right, it's a very symbiotic system that we have evolved with. We give them a place to live, they give us happy chemicals. It's a win-win. Okay. That little number at the bottom, over 95% of Americans are fiber deficient. Okay, so what happens? We're putting bad stuff in our gut. Guess what? There are different bacteria down there that are happy to eat that. And they make nasty chemicals. And they get into our system. And they give you that abdominal upset. And they give you that heart disease. And they give you that brain fog. And they give you that bone discomfort. It goes on and on. Okay, it's a system that evolved to perfection when we do it the right way. But when we do it the wrong way, we got lots of nasties down there that are more than happy to step in and fill the gap. More fiber, greater health, reduced weight. Quick note, if you want to get your fiber every day, okay, women should be 25 to 30 grams, men should be 40 to 45 grams. Beans are the superstars of fiber. Okay, half cup of beans give you 16 grams. Okay, so nutrition, lifestyle medicine is becoming mainstream. It's not just a bunch of family practice docs like me shouting in the wilderness anymore. I just found this week. Okay? This is Are We What We Eat? The moral imperative of medical professions to promote plant-based nutrition. Look where that's from. The American Journal of Cardiology. It came out just last November, at the end of November. It's going to be in their February issue. The word's getting out. And okay, so that was the nutrition pillar. Next pillar is physical activity. Little Snoopy, how's your aerobic class coming? One of my favorite comics, Pearls Before Swine. I want a life where I don't have to exercise. Well, if you don't exercise, you can really shorten your life. And then what? You die. And then I don't have to exercise. I really thought this through. It's got lots of great benefits. Exercise is wonderful. Okay. You see what the great things are. The stress and anxiety relief, increased energy levels, higher self-esteem, you sleep better, you move better, you just feel better overall. We're not exercising as much as we should as a nation. 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. take part in exercise each day. It's about 23%. This number of healthcare costs that we spend, this is like 4 years ago, associated with low levels of physical activity. 11 hours. The amount of time the average American spends on their health and fitness regime, we should say each month, not each week. 11 hours each month is what we're doing. We got to get people moving. And no, you don't need to be running up Mount Helena. You just need to be moving. And we can move in a lot of different ways. I've gotten down on the floor and done exercises in front of my patients. It's not hard to do. How much activity do you need? Well, these are the latest recommendations from the United States Preventive Service Task Force, also from the American College of Sports and Medicine. Roughly 150 minutes per week, so 30 minutes a day for 5 days. Moderate intensity. And what's that mean? You're walking along, you can talk to your buddy, but you can't be singing. Okay, so you're a little out of breath, but not too out of breath. At least twice a week, you should be doing some sort of resistance training, weight training, things of that sort. Okay. And then how do you do that? I don't have 30 minutes. Okay. Do you have 5 minutes? Can you do that 6 times a day? Okay. Can you start with 10 minutes and work up? Right. Okay. Any movement is better than nothing at all. I love this. Welcome to America. 24-hour fitness, you see the stairs and they're all on the escalator. So. Sleep medicine. Okay, so what are the benefits of sleep? How many people here think they get enough sleep? I'm just curious. Okay. Ooh, okay, I can count on one hand. Okay. Most of you don't think you get enough sleep. Okay. I've had insomnia since the first Bush administration. So okay. Anyway, you see some of the good benefits of sleep. Better concentration, helps you make better decisions, helps your immune system, creativity, better memory. And it's true, you do have reduced focus on the negativities. Kind of a busy slide. These are the recommended amount of sleep by age. As we get older, we do need less sleep. But even adults, say 35 and above, we need somewhere between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. Curiously, beyond 9 hours, we start to see more health problems with too much sleep. So anyway, 7 to 9 hours, most people our age. Kids need a little bit more. Babies need way more. My kids never seemed to get enough sleep when I was growing up. But like a lot of things, we are sleeping less than we used to. That number is that way on the left there, 1942. Over 85% of Americans were getting at least 7 hours of sleep. That was during a war. Okay. 10 years ago, we were still less than 6% were getting that amount. So we're getting less sleep as time goes on. There's a lot of reasons for that. We now have a 24/7 work culture. We got screens everywhere. We have all sorts of stuff that keeps us awake. So lots of bad stuff happens when you don't get enough sleep. Hypertension goes up, risk of heart attack, risk of weight gain, diabetes, depression. You see them here, memory loss, psychiatric disorders, decreased fertility. Man, I don't get enough sleep. I get cranky. I think a lot of people do. So here's some tips for better sleep. Okay. Number one tip I tell all my patients: no screens in the bedroom. Not that I'm anti-screens. I have TVs and iPads and phones and all that stuff. But it gives off blue light. Okay. Blue light tells your brain, hey, it's the middle of the day, time to be awake. Okay? You want those old-fashioned like white lights that we used to have everywhere. Okay. They give you lots of red and yellow light. Your brain sees red and yellow light. Ah, time to sleep. Good time. Okay. So get the screens out of your bedroom. All right. No caffeine. Have a cutoff time. Some people say 4 o'clock. Mine's 2 o'clock. Workout routine. You don't want to be working out like within an hour of bedtime. Nothing too strenuous. Try to get a bedtime routine going. If you can keep it every day, it's better than if you're trying to catch up on the weekends. Weekend catch up is not bad. It's not a bad thing, but it's better if you can do the same every day. Okay? I mean, even on weekends, I try to get up within an hour when I normally do and go to bed within an hour when I normally do. Okay? And try to keep the bedroom for 2 things: sleep and sex. That's it. I mean, get rid of the screens. Don't be working in there. Okay. You don't necessarily even have to be reading a book. You just want to go in there and go to sleep. Okay. And I don't want to leave out sleep apnea. Okay. Sleep apnea is when essentially you stop breathing at night. You don't wake up, but your brain does, so you don't get a good, well-rested sleep. You can see a lot of the problems that seem to go with sleep apnea. If you notice that your partner is snoring heavily or that your partner even stops breathing, please make sure that they talk to their doctor about it. And don't put it off either, because bad things happen with sleep apnea, and it's extremely common. And for God's sakes, if you feel the need to do this, probably want to have them talk to a doctor. Okay. Okay. And substance abuse. I'm going to go through this very quickly. We have a whole addiction department within the hospital. Dr. Moore is excellent, but I do want to just touch on a few things quickly. Here in Montana, we're kind of a little bit ahead of the national average in terms of smoking, both adults and high school students. Same with alcohol. I mean, we have major alcohol problems here in Montana. 65,000. I think that number is pretty low. And we only have, 1.2 million now? And that's a fairly substantial number for that low population. There's an addiction number. Or just call Dr. Moore's office. I worked with Dr. Moore. He's outstanding. There's a 1-800-QUIT-NOW number that you can call. And I do have to give a shout out to our own program. This is the tobacco cessation program. Marissa Hardy is a nurse that works on that. She is excellent. She's outstanding. Has a very high success rate too. And stress reduction. We've all been there, haven't we? Okay, more than 8 in 10 Americans report feeling stressed in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so is it just, yeah, this guy cut me off in front of me, that's stress? Or dear God, I just found out I have a horrible disease. That's stress. I mean, it runs a whole gamut. Okay, they didn't break that down, but stress is pretty common, and we're dealing with it all the time. You see some of the numbers there. This is workplace stress. 63% of employees report workplace stress has caused problems at home. Yeah, I can relate to that. Okay, I see a lot of my patients who are stressed out and they take it home with them. Probably more than one person here has had that same problem. 80% of students, high school, college, doesn't matter. You can see all the bad things that happen with stress. Fatigue, headaches, muscle problems, skin problems, worry, indecision, foggy thinking, substance abuse, loss of appetite. You see it up there. Basically, it's not a great thing. Some stress is good, okay? Why did we evolve stress? Well, hey, I got to get away from the saber-toothed tiger. It's time to run, okay? That kind of stress is good. It's good when it's only for short periods of time. It's not good when it's all you're living with. So here are some of the health benefits of stress management. This one right here, better management of chronic disease. That's number one you should take away. Better pain tolerance, better immune system functioning. Just feel better when you're able to manage your stress. So how do we do that? Number one, meditation. I tell a lot of my patients about meditation, okay? It goes by a lot of names, mindfulness. Now, for some people sitting, down in the lotus position, that works for them. It doesn't work for me. Okay, I'm kind of you haven't noticed, kind of a frenetic person. I have to move around a lot. Okay, but you can do walking meditation. I do that all the time. Heel, ball, toe, heel, ball, toe, heel, ball, toe. I always joke, if I ever get to Nirvana, I'll be walking there. Okay? But there's other things you can do. Reading meditation, okay? You pick a topic out of a book. You pick a phrase. And it can be the Bible, it can be Dostoevsky, it can be a romance novel. I don't care. It's just something that you want to concentrate on. It takes you out of wherever you are and gives you 10 or 20 minutes where you're able to just reduce that stress in your life. Progressive muscle relaxation, that's a good one too. It's kind of, don't have really time to explain it in detail, but you're kind of just starting up at the neck and working your way down and making the muscles relax. Deep breathing always works. Physical activity, of course. Socializing, that's a good one. You see the rest of them. Number 9 and 10, don't forget pets. Our animals are a good source of stress reduction for many of us. Even my cat. My cat's evil, but I still love her. And prayer, whatever your spiritual background is, or none at all, whatever higher power you may believe in, okay, make that part of your stress reduction. Okay, I'm a practicing Catholic. It's a big part of who I am. Healthy relationships. This is the one that I really think is just not talked about enough. Okay, we're just not, we don't have the community that we once did, even 100 years ago, even 2 generations ago. Okay, I mean, here I am. I live in Montana. Okay, I've got 2 boys here that live here. I've got a daughter in Seattle. The rest of my family's in New Jersey. I got family in Florida. I got family in California. All right. Used to be, when I grew up, everybody on both sides of my mom and dad's family was in 30 miles of each other. You saw each other all the time. We drove each other nuts, but that was okay. It's just how it was. We had those healthy relationships. A lot of those have broken down now. Again, I wish that the American College of Lifestyle Medicine would do more for this. They do have some thoughts about this, but I was just at I just attended their national conference last month, and there was not one major talk on this. You're going to get it from me now. Loneliness in America. Yep, we're a lonely people. 31% of adults reported serious loneliness. This is before COVID, by the way. Okay, this is before the demon virus hit. All right, we were feeling lonely then. It all went up during the virus. 61% of young adults, 51% of moms with young kids feel lonely almost all the time. Look at that. 50% of young adults report that no one in the past few weeks made them feel like someone genuinely cared. Increase your rates of anxiety, depression. So, can love help health? There's lots of great studies showing this. Increases your healthy habits, lowers your stress and anxiety, may support heart health. Studies are being done to look at that. May lead to longer life. The studies are being done. Supports a healthy immune response. Get definite studies for that. One of my favorite singers, Frank Sinatra, the song Cycles. I've been told and I believe that life is meant for living. Even when my chips are low, there's still some left for giving. We live in a very divided country right now. States. I mean, I'm not telling anybody anything new here. Okay. You may not like the politics. Heck, you may not like the government. You may not like a lot of things. Heck, you may not like your church. You may not like the person next to you. But in spite of all that, you can still show kindness. It doesn't cost anything to be kind. Another thing, take away from this. Kindness is free. It doesn't cost much. When I first wrote this, I was going to say, we don't all have to be Mother Teresa. Then I remembered, Mother Teresa had a famous saying, we do small things, great love. So yes, maybe we can all be Mother Teresa, except for the nun part. But there are things we can do to help each other. Okay, we're all on this journey together, folks. Okay, we don't need to get online and write some snarky comment just because you disagree with something. I mean, heck, even I read comics all the time. I like to read some of the comments sometimes. And I swear, you get no more than 5 or 6 in, and you're going to hear some version of Trump's an idiot or Biden's demented. Okay? Oh, Garfield. I mean, come on. Okay. Speaking of comics, and Pro for Swine. This pig is one of the major characters. Tree Stump has deep thoughts you're not usually capable of. No one knows what we're doing here. Some have faith that they do, but no one really knows. So we're scared, we're alone, and we end, and we don't know where we go. So we cling to money for comfort, we chase awards for immortality, and we hide in the routine of our days. Ah, but then the night, always the night, that has you alone whispers that maybe none of this has any significance. So love everyone you're with, because comfort each other on this journey we neither ask for nor understand is the best we can do. And laugh as much as you can. So, again, these are the 6 pillars that the American College of Lifestyle Medicine pushes, or talks about, I guess I should say. The healthful eating, increased physical activity, stress management, avoiding risky substances, improving your sleep, and then forming and maintaining relationships, healthy relationships. And I listened to a talk earlier this week on what some people are trying to make a 7th pillar, which is the importance of nature. Lots of great studies have been done. It does lower your blood pressure, increases your immune system function, it reduces stress, gives you a greater sense of happiness. Me, I'm on top of Columbia Mountain now, up by a hungry horse. Actually, I've done studies. They did it in Japan. They lock these people in rooms. You can't get away with nowadays, but still. But they lock these people in rooms, okay? And in one room, they just got the normal hotel air. In the other room, they were infusing small amounts of cypress essence, from the local trees, okay? And they measure their blood pressure and their cortisol levels and their measure of their immune system. Everything good went up. Everything bad went down if you're getting the tree essence. So something to think about. Nature's not hard to find, especially around here. I took this up on Arrowroot Road. An hour and a half, a mile and a half from here. Okay, you can see there's Mount Edith, there's Mount Baldy. Okay, it's not hard to find. A couple of weeks ago, I was out running in the morning. It was a beautiful morning before sunup. It had snowed a little bit that night. So, the flocking's covering the trees. I'm watching the moonlight just reflect off the snow, the puffy, wet, beautiful white clouds. And boy, it can't get any better than this. Until the herd of elk ran in front of me. Okay? Beautiful area. So, just to wrap up, what I recommend very briefly, 6 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. Get rid of the processed food. 30 minutes of daily exercise. Try to get screens out of the bedroom. Try to reduce your caffeine after 4 o'clock. Substance abuse, take a quick date. Talk to your healthcare provider about what resources. Stress reduction, get some meditation in. Healthy relationships, volunteer services, and reach out to your neighbor. And for nature, getting 20 minutes daily. New year, new you. We have lots of folks back there that are doing things. We got the Capital City Health Club. We have folks from Inch by Inch. Christine from Dr. Moore's office is going to be there to talk about addiction treatment. Harvest of the month. We got great samples over there. Our wellness services, and there's a gift basket as well. Join the Sugar Challenge. Starts January the 9th. Okay. Let's try to get rid of sugar from our diet. Do the best that you can. Okay. Even the artificial sweeteners. Because let me tell you what happens with the artificial sweeteners. All right. They are 200 to 3,000 times as potent as natural sugar. Okay. So guess what? When you start eating that all the time, you get less tongue receptors. You get less taste buds on your tongue for that sugar. Okay. So what happens when you eat God's given strawberries or apples or something? They taste like plastic because you no longer have the taste buds. So sugar bad. Okay. Especially high fructose corn syrup. How are we doing on time? Way over. Okay. So, but I'm going to stop there. Okay.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Dr. Krainacker. So you guys all have a little sheet. If you don't, there's some back there. But yeah, stop by the booths, have them sign or stamp the card, and then you get entered into the drawing. But we appreciate everybody coming out today, and have a happy New Year. Thanks again.
Thank you all.